Welcome to another episode of Horse Correcting. I'm Tim, and with me, as always, are the best people on the planet, Anonymous Alex and Jenna. How are y'all this week?
I'm watching Jenna's simmering rage right below the surface.
It's not rage. I have no rage. I am reach nirvana.
Irregardless.
That's not a word.
Irregardless.
It was a combination of, I'm sorry.
No, I know. It was a combination of not a word and a word, so I figured I would grammar
Get out. How dare you?
Yeah. That's what people do every time anybody says irregardless.
Yeah,
that's
because it's
not a
supposed
word.
to be just regardless, but
Yeah.
it's not as funny. Rageardless isn't it's not as funny.
Oh.
I made an executive decision. I'll leave. It's cool. You guys can. I'm out.
I think irregardless should be a word. Like, people use it enough.
But
And people know what it means.
They should make it into a word, but it should mean, with regard.
Like, it should cancel out.
This is double negative, yeah. Irregardless.
Yeah. I'm trying to work irregardless into a horse title. I'm going to use irregardless as a horse title.
Mm-hmm.
I think irregardless should be when you've got an irrigation system, but with no guardrails on it. It's just the most wild irrigation system you've ever seen.
How many irrigation systems have you seen with guards?
None. They're irregardless.
Nice.
Maybe we could just sit here for the whole episode and come up with different ways to use irregardless.
Yeah, I mean, I think we could.
Kind of really like that, though.
Like people that wrestle without the headwear. They're
That's really
irregardless.
good. They are irregardless. And then inversely, that's when they get cauliflower ear from the trauma, right? So we have to come up with the you don't want to be irregardless. Get cauliflower ear.
Yeah. That's as far as I can go. Like, I've got one entry into the stuff that irregardless should mean.
Yeah. If you're swimming at Lake Erie, but there's no lifeguard on duty, you're irregardless.
Yeah, that's true. That's a good one.
Now that's like the sexiest one because it's like a Baywatch sort of thing.
But they're not there. So it's really like,
because they're running
the
down the
scariest
beach.
one. But it's the scariest one. They're not there. You could die. They wouldn't save you.
You know what else I think it should mean?
What?
None of that matters. Because that's how people use it, right? Like, they just say this, but none of that matters. Which is basically just regardless, but whatever. I think it works. It flies, right?
It flies with me.
Yeah. I don't care. Irregardless.
All right, irregardless of all that, we read a book.
TBD.
What? Oh yeah, DVD is what we're supposed to. Dang it.
That's not this podcast.
TVD.
That's okay.
If anybody ever asks me what irregardless means, I'm just going to say TVD.
That's
It's
good
just a
question.
great way to
TBD.
transition. Yeah.
I mean, realistically, you could answer any question with that. And it sounds like you kind of like, it's a way of saying, I know what's going on, but I don't have that answer. So you don't sound like you don't know what you're talking about, even if you don't know what you're talking about. TBD. So we read the second half of a book. We read the second half of Courage. I think is book 3. I think we're on book 3. I don't know. I lose track.
2.5?
Yeah. But anyway, I'm going to tell you what happens. Jules and Pete had to rent out the farm and are living in the barn. Pete's riding Dynamo because Regina is hurt. Blurg. The people who rented the farm suck. There's a bad storm because Florida. And the new tenant, whose name is Blixton, blames them for there being a storm or something. And then his henchmen, his hench horsemen, force them out of the training area, which they were contractually obligated to share. Pete and Jules go to a competition on Dynamo and Mickey, respectively, and sweep their categories. Sponsors impressed. Henchman puts Jules in an uncomfortable situation, and she punches that dickhole square in the face. Pete supports this. Bully tenant comes back, and Jules says they're going to evict him. Court battle for farm is not going well. Too many dollars, no results. Pete and Jules are going to have to move, and Jules decides to partner with Amanda, who hasn't been around recently except to sell Rorschach. But Becky's all like, no way, dude, not after I did all that work threatening her to stay away. Go, Becky. Also, Alex is great. Pete and Jules will find a way together. And that was this book. And I like this book. I like this book series. It's very good.
It sure
Becky
is.
rules.
She sure does.
And I left out the part where Amanda saw Jules and Pete kissing, and it was very obvious that Amanda is very much in love with Pete and not just like kind of flirty with him. Amanda sucks.
She really does. Like the stuff that she said at the store when Becky overheard her, it's like, don't be weird.
Yeah.
Don't be weird.
I'm going to tell everybody that Amanda gives horse injections.
Oh.
Which I didn't know was a thing. But now it's going to be my go-to threat. Whenever anybody does anything that I don't like, I'm going to tell everybody that they do horse injections. Which makes their... it's like tail Botox, what I understand. Seems like cheating.
It sure is, yeah.
Also, that's weird.
Yeah.
To score people on how much your horse tail moves. These people are weird.
It's, yeah. I mean, I kind of understand why they score it on that, because it's a sign of agitation if they're flicking their tail a lot. So they're trying to prove that like your horse is calm and chill. But like people that think that it's cool to inject them in their tails to stop that is real weird.
Yeah. What if you just have like an antsy horse but loves competing? Like, why can't you just have that? Why is that
in Hunter World?
Probably has flies all around its butt and can do nothing about it. This is what I thought about. Just the torture.
Yeah, dude, and it's Florida, so you know.
Yeah.
Ugh.
I hate it.
Me too.
Yeah.
I did like Jules's idea, though, about working with Amanda. I thought this was a good plan, and I was very proud of her for coming up with it and doing the thing that Grace had said.
Mm-hmm.
Like finding your spot. And I was proud of them for these fictional characters. I was proud of them for getting blue ribbons in their events. So Jules is going to be president by book 9, right?
Oh man, she's got to be.
This is where we're working.
A horse
towards, right?
in the Oval Office.
Or leading like a rebellion.
Ooh, a rebellion.
Maybe.
I could not think of something that would surprise me more than if these books went like sci-fi suddenly in like book 8.
I was just Jules as a brown coat was exactly what I was thinking.
And that's why the famous line from Firefly, if wishes were horses, we'd all be eating good tonight. That's Jane. Famous Jane line.
Such a good show.
I totally had a thing to talk to you guys about that happened at the end of this book, and now it's gone. The thing I wanted to talk to you about. I know, it's awful. I've been trying to recover it, but it's just not there.
Trust me, I was doing that the entire 45 minutes before the episode, and I feel like once something... I don't have a recycle bin up there. Once it's deleted, it's gone.
It's good for space, though. You're saving a lot of space by doing that.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah. I guess. It was another bad storm.
Oh, no. Yeah, well, no. Maybe your thing. Sorry.
Holy shit, she just rebooted.
I did. It came back
crazy.
to me.
I heard the Windows music and everything.
I was going to say, how insane was that syndicate coming to them at the end?
Oh, I didn't even mention that.
You didn't even mention that with the whole syndicate.
Yeah, about the Pete getting a sponsorship because Jules did all this hard work with Dynamo.
Yeah.
And then they were like, hey, patriarchy, here's you did all this work. And Pete was cool about it. Pete was like, I didn't do any of the work. She did all the work. And then the guy was like, well, that's neat. It's good to have women folk working for you.
How wild was that? Like, he's like, I literally didn't train this horse. She did from the ground up. And he's like, you're such a good delegator as a man.
Yeah.
Get out, dude.
And then Jules just being like, we need the money.
Yeah.
So
the fact that she bit her tongue and just
let
it happen. First of all, insane. Second of all, I feel like good for you.
You're never going to talk that into a better situation.
You aren't.
Though, right?
You aren't.
Like,
and his money spends so good.
Yeah. And like, it sucks. But they were looking at the guy that rode the horse. And they were probably like, that's just, they weren't programmed to look or understand anything else or care about anything else. Mm-hmm. So it's like, let's get this guy another horse. And like, I get that. But yeah, like nothing she said was going to improve that situation, only make it worse. And so like, it was kind of like, she's like, well, this is good.
Mm-hmm. Well,
this is good for
that. And they were coming off the heels of that conversation too, where Pete was like, kind of insinuating that he was going to keep riding Dynamo. And Jules was like,
no, you're not.
Yeah, no.
So like Jules was like, okay, this is how I get my horse back and how I eat my ramen next month.
Mm-hmm. Yes. But yeah, that was kind of a tense conversation because she just sort of hinted at her getting Dynamo back and he just did the look, wait, and I was like, oh no. But it also good the way she stood her ground, though. Mm-hmm. She was like, just no. Understand. I did this as a temporary thing, but no.
Mm-hmm. Your horse is going to get better or you're going to get another horse.
Mm-hmm. And so this was the best possible outcome.
Yeah.
But it did kind of maybe credit didn't exactly get distributed as it should, but she gets her horse back.
You gotta love a victory that feels so bad.
That's excellent writing, though, isn't it? Because it sounds true to life. Oh, why does this not feel completely?
Why do I wish I had lost right now?
Yeah. And it's one of those things where it's I want to be happy for Pete, but mostly I want to be happy for Pete, but it's. Mm-hmm.
But why do I always have to be happy for Pete at my expense?
Right. Yeah. Right. Yeah.
But okay, but realistically, you say at your expense, yes, because she deserved the credit for. But they weren't going to look at her because she didn't compete in that. So, she couldn't have gotten that spot anyway, right? So, that's why I'm saying she did the right thing.
But he also wasn't going to look at her anyway.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. He's not going to
even
be
if she had competed there.
Right. Yeah, even you train this horse? Oh, let me just disregard Pete. Irregardless of Pete, let me go over here. And that wasn't going to play that way. So it was the best thing that she could do. And Pete did say, look, I didn't do this, So he at least made an effort.
He did. He really did. And God, I would love to get the Pete perspective too, because how hard must that have been to been here's the money and everything you wanted. And you're technically I didn't earn this.
Yeah. Yeah, because it all seemed like a big deal to him in terms of the barn that he sort of fills that role and he makes his own space, and now he's kind of not. And I thought we decided we were going to call it the Pete Spective.
The Pete Spective. You're right. You're right. Sorry, TBD.
But I would TBD. I would love to get the Pete Spective on that because I know he's probably like, ugh, that sucks.
At the same time, Pete has produced enough horses to absolutely earn that spot. It is not an unearned thing either.
But again, and like if Pete were looking at somebody else, he might be able to agree with that. But Pete as himself is probably like, oh, I did all this, and now the one time I use somebody else's horse, I get looked at.
Mm-hmm. Just now, I think, realized that like Tim is Pete, Pete is Tim.
There's a different set of rules for yourself in comparison. Like I can look at a lot of things that people do and be like, well, that's a thing that people do. But then like I can't put that same filter on myself. Like you have to hold yourself to a higher standard than you hold everybody else to. Man. But that's what's wrong. Stop. That's what's wrong with this world today. Here we go. We go. Is that not enough people do that, right? Like you watch people cut somebody off in traffic and they're like, rah, 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 rabble, rabble, even though it was their fault. But then like let it happen to them. And they're like, well, that guy's the stupidest fucking person on the planet. And I'm like, no, just reverse that shit, right? When you do it, you're the stupidest fucking person on the planet. And give the other guy a little bit of a pass when he does it. And then we all get along better. See? Right? This is how it works.
Or Tim, don't be so hard on yourself, Pete.
Yeah, just don't be so hard on yourself and realize that in different situations you've absolutely earned that thing.
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah, that's probably not going to happen. It's nice of you to say, but this has turned into a weird therapy session and I'm trying to find my out.
I know. I'm trying not to say like therapy things.
Yeah.
Well, now I know
so
where
tell
to get
me
this
about your mother.
though.
So people should hold themselves to a higher standard than they hold other people to.
I think if everyone just listened to this episode and just held themselves to a one notch higher of a standard, that would be an interesting experiment, and I'd like to hear back on that.
I know a few people who should not hold themselves to a higher standard because they hold themselves to such a fucking high standard that it is impossible to reach. And then they always feel bad about themselves. So please, they should please stop. They should please stop.
You're right. Metastrophe came up with retastrophe, and there's no higher.
There's no higher standard.
There's no.
You'll
higher.
never get past that.
Hold on. He did not name his cat Catastrophe.
That is true. Metastrophe, you specifically bring it up a notch.
See? Human after all.
Yeah. I mean, when you're right, you're right.
Feel bad if that person's not a human and I just misspecies them.
Metastrophe the Andalite is going to come for us.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's right there, though. Catastrophe.
It is. It's
and like,
right there.
Ratastrophe was right there, too. So, like, why didn't you just... What happened?
Yeah. There's a fucking standard.
Just listening to this episode being like, how did I get roped into this?
Wait a minute.
How come I'm the only one that has to hold myself to a higher standard?
That's not true. Pickle Boy needs to hold himself to a higher standard, too. I'm just going to come from everybody.
No, you don't need to explain that one. He absolutely does.
Pickle Boy's like, I'm just sitting here dick in hand. What are we doing?
I got a zest for life, you guys.
I was just gonna say, I love that we were with one of our friends in real life person in like who doesn't listen to the podcast, and I was like, I need you to understand that at some point during this weekend, Tim or Alex is gonna tell you that you have a real zest for life, and you should be mad at them. And then you did it.
And we did, and he just looked at me with this shocked look on his face.
He just stood there, dick in hand, looking at us.
Okay, you know who does need to hold themselves to a higher standard?
Oprah.
Boyd Martin.
Oh.
He needs to do better.
He needs to do better.
He could do better.
I hope if he ever does listen to this, he knows that's a goof.
What? Okay. Logically, what are the chances Boyd Martin's going to listen to this show?
Okay, if I say something stupid about him, probably kind of high at that
The
point,
chances
'cause
go
I feel
up.
like yeah.
Because you don't want him to, and then he does. And you're like,
Yeah,
oh no, I fucked up.
Next time I see him, I'm going to get him some Horse Girls merch and be like, can you just like put this on a saddle pad or some shit? Like,
That would be awesome.
And then be like, hey, yeah, specifically Tim from Horse Girl says you should do better.
specifically.
It was Scott. Let's be fair.
Scott
Well-
said it to his face. Scott's
Yeah.
job is done.
Yeah. You're the one over here behind his back running your fucking mouth.
That's what I need. I just need an audio clip of Boyd Martin saying, "Hey Tim, look, I did better," and then we just got that into the episode.
Peaked.
Yep.
Tim's going to call him up, be like, you need to hold yourself to a higher standard, Boyd Martin.
It's on a Zoom call, and he just points the camera to all of his trophies and ribbons, and I'm like sitting here in my room with my skeleton.
Then we'd be like, yeah, we all know that Silva did the work, and you're just kind of riding the horse.
I mean,
read
to
the
be
Avengers series.
fair,
I know how this
to be
works.
fair, he did ride her horse. So,
You know?
and I did watch her the whole time, pretty much telling him to do better during several of those videos.
Yes, absolutely. She constantly is telling him to do better. It's my favorite thing.
Yeah. So funny.
It is so good.
I love the one where she's like, the horse knows what to do.
You're the idiot. Okay, hang on, real quick. Pause the podcast.
Pause.
Or don't. You can keep it in. I don't care. So Austin today, friend of the show, Austin, did message me and said, "Hey, I forgot to tell you, 2 days ago, I found an entire bin of cheese at my local grocery store where they had put a sticker on all the barcodes and marked it sample. So they were all free." And I said, "Why the fuck didn't you call me?" And he said, "Because you said don't call you under any circumstances."
Ooh, he's got you there.
I said, what I said was emergencies only, and this was an emergency.
Okay. Yeah.
Also, he called me so many times when we were hanging out in Ohio once because they didn't have every drink I wanted from the store because he'd run to the store to get us drinks. And he's like, they're out of Diet Coke. They're out of vitamin water. They're out of this. He called me so many times. He was on my frequent caller list for 6 months.
Oh, God. The nightmare.
He could have called about the cheese, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And then done what?
I would have gotten some.
You would have driven the 8
He
hours
would have
or
met
whatever.
me. It's 5 hours. He could have met me halfway. That's only 2.5 hours for a barrel
No,
of free
that
cheese.
is a fucking Hobbit to Mordor level trip for Austin. And you know
That's true.
there's-
He could have driven a half hour. I would have driven 4.5. It would have been even
Yeah.
for us. And I could have gotten a free barrel of cheese. There was brie.
I'd do anything for Brie, so.
You know what I would do? Drive to the store and give them a couple dollars instead of driving 5 hours for the out-of-date cheese that they were giving away for free.
You do not know that it was out of date.
It was free.
It was samples.
You know why it was samples?
Because it was real good cheese. They thought we need to spread the good word of cheese.
Oh. You know what else needs to get spread? The good word of. That was not a good sentence.
I didn't like it. Hey,
Irregardless.
No.
TBD.
Fuck. You know what else we need to spread? Like the good word of cheese?
Them cheeks.
God damn it. Fucking horse noose.
Okay. So first, horse news is out of date, but I just wanted to tell you guys. Did you?
Is it a free
cheese.
sample?
It's
a
like
free
it's
sample
like
horse news?
it's a free horse news. It's free. It's Mark's
I'm going to
sample.
drive 5.5 hours for this free horse news.
I'm so glad because if you did that, you'd end up in like Lexington, Kentucky for Rolex, which is where Natalie K. Reinert was selling books a couple weeks ago.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Yeah.
So I wanted to throw it out there. Other than that, now let's get back to our terrible news. Did you guys know that there was a runaway carriage horse in Central Park this past weekend?
No.
Yeah. So this horse straight up, they're trying to do a tack change. So its bridle came off and they didn't have it properly secured. So it just went running, rampaging through Central Park. And everybody was like, oh my God, they almost hit pedestrians. And apparently there was like a bunch of bikers that just kept like trying to get ahead of it and next to it and just yell to people to get off the path until this horse came to a stop. Eventually it saw another carriage horse. It went over. The other carriage guy was able to secure it, blah, 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 blah. But my favorite thing was they issued a statement that was like, this is the first carriage incident since 2015. And then all of these people came out of the woodwork to be like, actually, what about this one? What about this one? What about this one? And they just surfaced like story after story of incidents with carriage horses. They said 2014 was the last one. And then they're like, what about 2022 when there was a horse on car accident?
When you said this was the first carriage horse incident, I was expecting you to say since like 1937.
2014.
Yeah, I really thought that it was going to be back when it was like super common. Like it was the preferred means of travel.
It was like the day that they reversed the city streets in New York and the carriages didn't know where to go.
Oh, I hate that. But I'm also like, good on the bikers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like pulling like a Mission Impossible style move to surround it. And
Can you imagine like being one of the bikers that's like, this is my new mission in life.
Yeah.
I got to outride a horse.
like if I saw that stunt in a movie, I'd be like, movies are so unreasonable. Like nobody could actually do this. And I'm like, could you imagine being a bike guy and you're like next to the horse and like all this thing has to do is like turn 1/4 inch and I am toast. Like, I don't know, good on them.
Yeah.
And they probably genuinely kept a lot of people from like getting hurt. So like both in the ridiculousness of the stunt, but like in their genuine actions, good on them.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. And also like, not to sail right past the other horse news, everybody go buy a book from Natalie K. Reinert and start reading this series.
For
you
real.
Get the Bold prequel for free digitally.
Mm-hmm.
So just like get it and start reading it because it's really good. And then you can comment to us about how good it is.
I mean, it's fantastic. Did I tell you the weirdest thing that happened to me with buying these books though?
No.
I went to my book Kindle the other day because I read these digitally because it's easier. And I had every book in the series except for book 4 for no reason.
Like you just skip past it when purchasing?
I just purchased every other book and said, you know what, book 4? No, not for me.
Got something against the letter number? Wow. No, I'm done. I'm going to bed.
It's a real character.
Irregardless.
TBD.
What TE? All right, horse quiz.
Yeah, man. We're going to do it. We're going to try so hard, okay?
What are we doing now? Swords?
Yeah, we're doing swords.
I have swords in my head still. Hey, go subscribe to the Patreon so you can get that joke because we're talking about getting the ninth. Because we're talking about getting the 9th
Oh no, it's
And it's a
spreading.
really good book series. Go get that book series too.
Yeah, for real. No, wait, don't.
Do a bunch of reads.
Don't do it.
Get the
Why
wait,
not?
You wait until Electo comes out so you're not like me.
Okay, counter argument. Like, I agree with you, and I just want to play devil's advocate just for a hair. If we don't buy the books, will Electo get made?
I mean, that's fair. Shut up.
It's maybe not fair because protests are genuinely very effective as well.
I hope that everyone knows that when I say, hey, don't go get a good book, I don't fucking mean it. Please go get the good book. Not the good book, because I don't give a fuck about that book.
I feel like the protest here would have the negative effect, right? If you're like, we're not going to buy this book until you give us another one, then the publisher's going to be like, nobody bought this book. We're not going to give you that one. So this might be the time to protest buy. Like, spite buy the book.
Spite buy it and then don't read it.
Until later.
Yeah.
Because you're going to want to read it.
Yeah.
My new favorite concept that Tim just introduced me is that there is a protest positive and a protest negative.
I was trying to do something with protest and reverse it, and I got contest, and that's already a word. So I think I'm going to call my
contest
protest
positive and a contest negative.
Yeah. The protest positives are now going to be called Irregardless. There. Given the word meaning.
It's prositives and negatists.
Hold on. I like the idea of a protest positive. Like, I just think that's a fun idea. Like, you get something you like and you push it and you call it a protest positive. I like this.
I really like it. Like, I want to take to the streets with my new purchase to explain to everybody how good it is.
Yeah.
With a group of other people. And maybe a torch on fire for aesthetics.
What if we had a positive protest for Bob Magoo's books? And we just go stand out on a street corner with signs that say, buy this book.
It's
oh
a
my God.
readout.
And stuffed possums on all the signs. Yeah.
Nice.
All right.
I'm going to dress as an octopus in a trench coat.
That's awesome. 3 octopuses.
We can all be octopuses.
Oh my God.
I'll message him later. Tell him we're going to do a positive protest.
Positive protest.
No, but okay, hold on. You know what? Everybody that's listening to this, send me your idea for what you would positive protest, because I want to know. Mm-hmm. I want to know what people would like support in an angry mob.
Aggressive support.
Aggressive support. I like this. I'm 100% behind this.
This is fantastic.
Yeah.
He is positive protesting positive protests.
I am. It's like an herberge.
It's like a what?
It's an herberge.
Nice. Oh, that reminds me. Hey, Alex.
What's up?
You have a word you're supposed to pronounce for me.
Oh God. Yeah, hang on. Let me get back to that chat real quick.
So let me just...
Why do they keep talking?
After we hear Alex's, I'm going to tell you how I read it the first time.
Yeah.
Okay. Like, I know how I landed on it. So I could just tell you like where I got to, but I feel like I need I need the word in front of me. Okay, yeah, spell it out for me.
Luccesse.
I still think it's Lucy's.
Ooh, we were close.
Were we?
Yeah.
Okay.
I thought it was Lucci's.
Lucci's is also good.
Infant luchador wrestlers.
That's adorable.
Yes, this is where I went with it, was Lucci's.
Yeah,
By the way, when we went to the Austin FC match, we met a luchador wrestler there, and he was awesome.
That's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
I've always wanted to befriend a luchador.
He was very, very nice, and I can give you his Instagram.
I wish you would,
name.
so that we can become friends.
Mm-hmm.
This is Luchador Insane. I'll go ahead and say it. Everybody go follow him. Mm-hmm. Luchador.insane on Instagram. I'll put it out there.
I wish you would. I think it's a positive protest to put that out there.
Positive.
Positive. Everybody go follow this person on Instagram and really show them.
Yeah, positive protest.
Okay, so how is the word real?
How is the word real?
How is the word real?
Well, it's a brand of Western wear and specifically like boots, nice boots. So that's how the word is real.
Okay,
how
but
how say good word?
Okay,
How's say
that
good
word
word?
is pronounced Lucchese's.
Nope.
Never
would've
in a
gotten
million
that.
years.
Lucchese.
You could put 1,000 Alexes on 1,000 yak backs, and never would that word have come out that way.
Also, that sounds like Power Man to me.
Lucchese's.
It's like Nicolas Cage's brother.
Okay. You know what's funny? You know why he's Nicolas Cage and not Nicolas Coppola?
Because the Actors Guild?
No, because he didn't want to get roles based on his famous uncle's name, so he changed his name to a combo character named Luke Cage. Yeah, so it is a Luke. You just made the same joke as me. You just took the long way around.
I took the long way around. I took the road less traveled. I also, for so many seconds into you saying that, thought he wasn't getting bread rolls for some fucking reason.
Wow. Wow.
It's because Peter nobody was peeing him.
Nobody was peeing him. He just had to sit alone in the rain, hungry, crying all alone on his bedroom floor because he's hungry. And the only way to feed him was to sleep with a man for a little bit of money. Because his daddy's gone somewhere.
Out smoking rock now, in and out of lockdown.
What? Hold on, we left.
He doesn't have a job now.
I was in Hunger Games. And you guys left, and I don't know where you went.
We went
Tim,
to
I feel
the
like for you, this
2000s.
is just a good time. But for
Did you
me,
go to
this
the
is what
greatest-
I call life.
Did you go to The Greatest Showman?
No.
Did you go to Hugh
Not
Jackman?
even
'Cause
close.
Hugh
No.
Jackman's the only other one that I knew through bread. So I just assumed that's where we went.
He didn't throw it, he stole it.
Well, that's just
Same thing.
Aladdin now.
Aladdin didn't steal bread.
He did.
There's a whole song about it.
Yeah.
I thought he stole fruit.
They were gonna
Was it bread?
No. Abu stole an apple, I think.
I think so.
Maybe that's where I'm getting it from. Irregardless. Horse quiz.
Horse quiz. Right. All right. Are you ready? I know you're not. I know you're not.
Somebody's going to rage message me just because I said irregardless so many times in this episode.
Well,
And you'll say,
They might.
irregardless,
Yeah.
I'm going to keep saying it.
Yeah.
they might. Irregardless, here's a
poopsie.
horse quiz. All right. This one was a thoroughbred stallion who had a great influence on eventing horses in Great Britain.
Can I get another clue?
Yep. His descendants include Virginia Lings mounts Priceless and Nightcap, and Pippa Funnels mounts Primor's Pride and Walk On Star.
Just be glad I'm on mute because of the strained groaning noises I've been making since you started telling us these clues.
Does that mean you know this one?
It means that I think somewhere in the recesses of my brain,
Let's check the recycle bin.
I hard restarted, so I don't
Oh,
think I
God.
That's
have
true.
it in
we
me.
saw it and heard it.
Alex cleared the cache.
Yeah.
I cleared the whole cache. I restarted the whole system.
Cookie's gone.
That means somewhere inside of me, someone is working to get to the unattached house where all the switches for the electric fences are, and they're trying to turn them on.
Don't whiz on the electric fence.
You really shouldn't, though. Have you ever seen anybody pee on an electric fence?
No.
Really
haven't.
goddamn funny. I mean,
Only in Ren and Stimpy.
I saw it on Mythbusters when they were like, "Can you?" And then they're like, "The stream is so broken," but I feel like they were standing far back. There's a distance issue.
Don't cross the streams.
That's on Ghostbusters.
always busting those gusts.
Fucking hate wind.
Yeah.
Broken
Skies.
trilogy.
Interesting.
Danzig.
Did you say Danzig?
I did.
I've been listening to the Misfits like all day today. It's interesting.
I don't think I've met a horse.
I don't think I've met Glenn Danzig.
I know I
I
haven't
feel like you
met
would be
Glenn
sure
Danzig.
if you had.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Glenn Danzig is a great horse name, though.
Yeah.
I would name my horse Glenn Danzig, Glenn Ross.
That is so good. You fucking
I know.
nerd.
It's and every time my horse lost, I would just yell that coffee is for closers the entire time. Glenn Danzig, Glenn Ross is a great horse name, though.
That is a great horse name. It's so good it made my voice crack.
Harbor Freight.
No. That
I
would
wish
be
it were.
I
yeah.
know.
Kind of think that
Just gives out
Alex-
free horseshoes every time you come in.
Alex,
Harbor Brave.
Can you rename
Yeah.
Gambit Harbor Freight for me?
Sure.
Or Northern
Honestly-
Tool? Either one.
I don't.
Northern Tool is good.
I
Glenn
don't
Danzig,
wanna,
Glenn Ross is still there.
Gambit is a Northern Tool, so it fits.
He's from Texas.
No, he's Northern now.
Northern
Now he
Texas.
is. Northern Texas. Yeah, he is a tool. I learned that. I mean, I learned that a while ago, but today it was really reinforced for me. And I want you to know, I still can't outrun a horse.
I only did it once. I only needed to do it once, though.
I'm going to change my Twitter name to Glenn Danzig, Glenn Ross.
I think you should.
But what about mediocre Charlotte?
Yeah, I can't change it.
It's really good.
It's really good.
Yeah, I have no idea. I think, give me another clue.
This horse was bought as a 2-year-old at the Ascot sales by Diana Scott for 250 pounds. That's it. 250 pounds.
That's so little money.
Well, it must have been in like 1914 then, right?
Gem twist.
It was in the probably 1970s.
Oh, okay.
Then that's like
Basically 1914.
that's basically 1914. That wasn't what I was going to say, but I'm changing my thoughts now and I'm on board with that. That's exactly what I was going to say.
No. Yeah, let's go to word association.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see. This is a 2-word name. And the first...
Potato.
I've
You're
been
never
there.
going to not kill me with that one. Good God. All right. The first word in the name is a common man's name.
Bill.
Sam.
Wait, what?
Jim.
Sam.
I couldn't
Jim,
hear those
Bill.
first. Okay.
Alex.
No.
Tim.
There's a lot of common men's names, turns out.
Joe.
John.
Jacob.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
Do
I
it.
know
Do
the
it.
temptation is so. Don't do it.
Pete. Ben.
Peter.
Wait, what did you say?
Ben.
Oh, okay. All right. That's the first word. And the second word is.
Folds 5.
What?
Folds 5.
No. That's several words. So no.
Waits. Ben waits.
No.
What does he wait for?
TBD.
Ben Parker.
No.
That's Spider-Man's little brother.
Little. Yeah. I mean, okay.
I don't know. I don't know if they're
Like-
related to Spider-Man. I
like
just
clone terms.
Yeah, it's his dead uncle.
Do they have the same last name? I knew Uncle Ben, but I didn't know. Do they have
now
the
I
same
don't
last
know.
name?
I assumed it was the same last because I
Yes,
thought
his
he
name
was
is Ben
brothers
Parker.
with-
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes. Dads.
That's weird. I just
Spider-Man
assumed Spider-Man
is-
was raised by a strong woman.
No,
I mean, yeah,
Spider-Man's is
Aunt
a
May.
paternal.
Yeah, but also is just never mind.
And her name
Let's
is
not
May
talk about what I
Parker.
think happened in Spider-Man because I feel not lore. It's just what I've assumed based on Peter Parker's energy.
So you patrioted it?
Yes, I've seen some Spider-Mans. Like I know about the snapping emo phase and everything, but I feel like I made up the lore of Spider-Man's youth.
When are we going to do this as Patreon content and just have Alex give dissertations on things she doesn't know about?
Describe movies you've never seen.
Yeah.
I mean, let's just put a date on the calendar and do it.
Okay.
Okay.
Start with The Accountant.
Okay, I'm in, because I'm pretty sure I know what that's about.
No, it's not porn.
It is. I know what accountant stands for.
So good.
Ben, I'm not gonna
Wyatt.
I'm not gonna say Dover.
What if it was Ben Big? And like they're like, we have Big Ben the jumper, and this one's Ben Big, the cheap horse. Please, what's the second one?
Please,
Jenna.
please tell me what the second word is. Let's see. The second word is a name for creatures, humanoid creatures that are magical.
Ben Dwarf.
Ben Fairy?
Yes.
Ben Elf?
Yeah, Ben Fairy.
I've never heard of Ben Fairy.
Yeah, Alex, come on.
What?
Yeah.
This is the first time I've ever heard this combinations of words in my life.
Yeah.
Is that real? That's
Yeah.
real? It's Ben Fairy?
It's Ben Fairy.
I thought you were saying it sarcastically because I said something so stupid.
No.
Ben Fairy.
Yeah, so sit in that.
That's like a knockoff Scotch.
Yeah. Okay, are you ready for horse number 2?
I don't
Yes.
think I'm ready for any horses ever, but I'll try.
Oh my gosh. Okay, horse number 2 was a horse ridden by American Bruce Davidson in the sport of eventing.
It's like 20
Senator
horses a day.
Yeah, we know this guy's name.
Yeah. Senator Kelly.
Senator Kelly.
Yeah.
I don't remember the last horse
Black
that we talked about.
Beauty's
Bruce.
owner's grandfather. Yeah, got it.
Yeah. I don't remember, but we've had this name before, but I don't remember the horse.
Well, isn't it who Pete, the family that Pete's based on too? Because isn't it Pete Davidson in the book? Isn't this?
No, Pete Davidson is a comedian.
Yeah.
What is Pete's last name in the eventing series?
That's a good question.
That is a good question. Hold on, wait.
But Pete Davidson is a real person.
I mean,
Well, I don't
Yeah.
know that. I mean, it's a person on TV, so who knows if they're actually real.
well,
or not.
okay, now you've introduced a different set of issues. Is anyone on TV real? I don't know.
I don't know.
They could be fairies.
Yeah.
Ben Fairies.
Pete. I thought it started with an M. Marinello or something. But now I'm wondering if I made that
Maraschino
up.
cherry.
It's all one word.
Yes. You have to say it all at once. Pete Maraschino cherry.
Morrison.
Maraschino cherry. Morrison.
Morrison. It did start with an M.
Did start with
Okay.
an M. Famous rock bandman.
Famous cafeteria. Or maybe not so famous. Maybe that was just an Atlanta thing when I was growing up. But who knows? Who knows how big Morrison's was?
I mean, I know nothing, but that's not unusual.
Did y'all have Piccadilly's wherever you were?
The circus?
Piccadilly's.
No.
No, the restaurant.
No.
Okay, Morrison's was a lot like Piccadilly.
Piccadilly
And
was
if you had to pick a
country
third
cooking
thing.
restaurant.
A buffet.
Yeah.
Not a buffet.
It was a meet and
It
three.
wasn't a buffet.
Like
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
so not like a Golden Corral.
No, but you did go down the line and pick out what you wanted. So I think that's why I lumped it in with a buffet.
But like a lunch lady gives you the stuff.
Yeah. It was that kind of setup.
Was there ever like a Food Channel TV show about the amount of preparation they went through to create these meals?
No. Well,
Maybe.
probably.
Who knows?
I haven't seen it. Yeah, I haven't seen it. Let me put it that way.
Okay. I feel like I saw like a Food Network special on how many pounds of like chicken wings or something that they sold per evening meal time. And it was talking about like the budgeting of it and how they could afford to do it for like the budget rate that they had and how they
are you
prepared that
talking
much food.
Piccadilly?
I feel like it was something like that. I don't know.
Oh, may have been.
Yeah.
Yeah, it definitely could have been because it was kind of a unique setup.
Yeah. And they were talking about that with like restaurant, like how they managed that and how they managed to keep the food quality as high as it was with the volume that they were doing.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, I'm sorry. That was so I've never been. I don't know this
Speaking of
restaurant,
food
but I have
quality.
watched a special on it once, I guess. Okay, speaking of food quality, so this horse name is Crackers.
I thought that you were going to
No.
talk about the YouTube video that we watched about how to make lunchroom pizzas
Oh,
that Jenna has promised she's going to make for me.
yeah. I wasn't going to talk about that, but yeah, we should do that because it was like the square lunchroom pizza recipe, like the actual.
Because didn't they make it on a like a cafeteria tray? Isn't that why it was?
Yeah. It was part of the recipe.
Yeah, and you like pour
yeah.
the dough out onto the
Yeah,
thing,
yeah.
and I was like, "Ooh, that's weird. I want to try it."
Okay, so you said it had something to do with food quality.
Mm-hmm.
So Michelin
Nope.
stars, 3 stars, 4 stars. Yelp. Grade A.
Nope.
Omega.
This is another 2-word name.
Do we get another clue?
Sure.
Yeah.
This horse was found as a yearling for Davidson by Robert Tyndall. This horse was attacked by a stallion when it was a foal, which caused him to be nervous around other horses. Although he was a very well tempered horse with a lot of character.
God damn it! I just thought of an episode title.
Oh,
What was it?
I need to write that shit down. No, I'm using it next time.
Our horse in the middle of the street.
Fuck until Alex takes it from me. Right?
This is my greatest victory.
I'm still using it.
Yeah, you can cut that out.
No,
Just
I'm leaving
bleep
in
it.
and I'm using
Bleep
it.
out the name and just.
yeah.
Okay, so no, we're gonna have to go to. This is getting me nowhere, so we're gonna have to go to word association.
Yeah, that'd be good. I like that.
Okay.
Bruce Davidson has many horses.
What if his horse's name was like FDA, quality assurance check?
That's more than 2 words.
Not if you say it really fast. And some of them
It's like
are
Pete
are
Maraschino
initialisms.
Oh, take
Yeah,
it.
and FDA is an initialism, not a word. So
Yeah, that's true.
I wasn't even
We've
talking
owned that.
about FDA. I was
You
talking
say it
about the
real
rest
fast.
of the
What
very
is it?
many words.
Scuba is an acronym, right?
Yeah.
And then like
yeah, because it's a word.
SCUBA would be an initialism.
Yeah,
Do
yeah.
I have that right? Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
nailed it. Because we got into it about NASA. Real hard ones.
Is that what
on
started it?
Yeah, that's what started on Animal Horse Anonymous. Was we were looking up NASA and then we started. We get scientific.
Okay. Isn't it the National Aeronautic and Space Association?
Yeah, but it was whether or not it was NASA or NASA was.
Oh, God. If anybody
My
ever said
favorite
NASA,
Fergie
I would
song.
fucking kill
No,
them
no,
or something.
no, no.
Not
Would you
really.
go BANANAS?
Yeah.
I would. In fact.
No, it wasn't that anybody was trying to say NASA. It was just whether or not it was an acronym,
Yeah.
and it is.
Yeah.
Because you use it as a word.
But it's
Yeah,
also a
that
word.
was-
Like, it's just,
but
it's just,
if like the NSA is an initialism, not an acronym.
Mm-hmm.
That was the argument.
okay.
Word association.
Yeah, right. Okay, 2 words. The first word is somebody that you might go to if you were ill.
Doctor.
A doctor.
Okay, great. You got it. Second word is something that grows on a tree.
Moss.
Dr. Acorn.
Leaves.
Nope.
Pine
Dr.
cone.
Apple.
Nope.
Branch.
Dr. Fruit.
No.
Dr.
Bud.
Coconut.
No. And it's multiple.
Pine needle.
Dr. Coconuts.
Say that again.
Coconuts? Or pine
Coconuts.
needles?
Oh my god.
What's wrong with the way I say it? Coconuts.
Coconut.
Dr. Pear?
Bark.
I can only think of things that don't grow on trees, like money.
Okay, no.
Dr. Chlorophyll.
Dr. Feelgood. Dr. Chlorophyll?
Yeah.
Chlorophyll McGraw.
That's a great crime name.
Yeah.
Why is it a good crime name?
Because it's like McGruff the crime dog.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were going for like baseball player. So never mind.
Okay. I would be shocked if Alex has ever even heard of Tug McGraw.
Ooh, that's fair.
Yeah.
I've heard the name, but only because it's such a weird, like Tug is such a strange name to me that
You know who Tug McGraw is?
apparently a baseball player.
And
A really funny, dirty joke.
Tim McGraw's dad.
Yeah.
So he made his son so sad with his name that he went to sing country songs about it.
Yes.
That's
Whatever. He didn't sing sad country songs for the very, very longest time. And then
he
he
was
went
10 years old. His dad
skydiving.
left him.
He went Rocky
only
Mountain
history.
climbing. He went 10.7
she's
seconds or
lost
some
in it.
shit like
Was
that.
it 10 or 2? I thought it was
don't know.
2.7.
It's probably
Oh, man.
2.7. I'm like, man, if he went 10.7, that's a lot.
That's a win.
What is-
And I feel like he lost.
Yeah.
I think you're only supposed to go 8 seconds.
You are.
Yeah.
We watched the movie.
Who went 10.7 seconds?
It was 2
It was Tim
who?
McGraw.
Who?
on a bull named Fu Manchu.
Yeah.
And
What
he
is happening right now?
loved deeper and he spoke sweeter
Yeah.
and he gave forgiveness he'd been denying. And you know what, Tim? I hope someday you get the chance to
Are
live
talking
like
to
you were
Tim McGraw
dying.
or me right now? Was that at Tim McGraw? Are you fucking... Is this like an open letter to Tim McGraw?
I think it was an open letter from Tim McGraw. I'm doing it for Tim
She's
now.
If somebody waved at me like that, I would simply leave.
I wouldn't be able to because I would be on the ground laughing.
Yeah, if somebody waved at me exactly like Lane Frost waved at people, I would, without a doubt, he's waving for Lane, as loud as I could at that person.
Yeah.
And I feel like if they were doing it, they would get it.
What if they didn't? What if they had
if they
no idea?
didn't?
Yeah, they just unironically wave that way.
I mean, he did, so somebody else has to.
Stephen Baldwin.
Dr. Twig,
No.
Dr. Leaf, Dr. Bud, Dr. It's in a tree specifically, Dr. Grape,
Dr. Branch?
What?
Bush. That's you went the wrong way. With
It's a
that in your brain.
vine, in fact.
There's grapevine. You went the wrong way in your brain with that. You said the thing that you had to say right, and then you said the backwards part of it.
Dr. Fig?
I think
No.
I'm having a stroke.
I think
how
you are
this is
too.
going. I think this is a long form medical issue.
Hold
that
on. I think I need another clue about the second word.
It's on a tree.
I need another one.
You
There's
eat
a
it.
lot of
Lemon?
things on a tree.
Dr. Lemon.
No.
Dr. Lemon.
Dr. Lime?
No.
We said it wasn't Dr. Apple already.
I could eat it for hours.
A peach? Dr. Peach?
Multiple.
For hours?
Dr. Peaches?
Yeah.
That was a Nicolas Cage quote.
Yeah.
that she just
I
threw
brought
at
it
us.
back
Okay.
around.
So you kneecapped me there is what happened. You said, okay, I'm sick of this. I know what I'll say to Tim so he gets it. This is...
I try to do
quiz is
that
rigged.
to you all the time. Okay?
I've
It's
never
not
seen
my fault that
anything,
you don't
Jenna.
get it. I don't do it with movies, Alex.
I've
Not the
never
bees.
consumed a media. Not the bees.
Not the bees.
He can't see without his glasses.
He can't see without his bees.
He couldn't see without the bees either.
You couldn't see with the bees.
Couldn't see any. The bees were
It
bad
was just
for
too
him.
many.
Well, he was allergic. It only took one.
Yeah, but that's what Dad told to Veda. Veda, is that her name? Veda. It's just too many.
Was her name really Veda?
I think so.
I don't know.
There's no way I wouldn't walk around calling that kid Darth everywhere I went.
Was it Veda? Now I have to look. Damn you all.
You know what they have?
Yeah, it was Veda. Go me
You know
in
where
my
they
brain.
have a lot of peaches.
What?
South Carolina.
Yeah.
In Georgia?
Yeah.
And Decatur on their water tower.
Mm.
That's what I know.
It's still Decatur, and it always will be.
Maybe.
Yeah, but I was specifically... That was why I was saying it was because there's a water tower in South Carolina where like every time we drive past it, I'm like, it looks like a butt. Because it does. It just looks like a big ass sitting up there on a water tower.
I can tell you that Decatur is greater doesn't roll off the tongue quite as well.
No.
Is that their slogan?
Decatur is greater. It's Georgia,
Decatur
Alex.
Is
Don't...
Greater.
Greater.
Decatur is greater.
That's a wild slogan. We should rethink that.
I don't know that you get to argue with an entire city.
I could, though.
You can. Are you
I mean,
ready
what
for
are they
horse
gonna
number
do?
3?
Yeah,
Yes.
sure.
Okay. Guess what? This
Chicken
horse
butt.
was a top eventing horse trained and ridden by American Bruce Davidson.
Holy shit.
He rides like 4,000 million horses.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. And that's why
And
most of these are going to be Bruce Davidson horses.
And he also played Senator Kelly.
Yeah, we can't forget that.
Yeah,
We can't
So the
forget
horse's
that.
name is Wolverine for sure.
Yes.
for sure.
For sure, for sure.
There's no way that Senator Kelly would name his horse after a mutant.
What
Be
if he did?
reasonable, Alex.
What if he did?
Be for real.
So what would he name it? Like Bill 41? Sentinel's
Yeah,
also
yes,
good.
yes.
Okay, wait. Yours is much more mainstream and a better name than mine. Mine was a real weird joke. You're right. Sentinel makes way more sense.
Oh my God.
There's a little girl in Illinois who can walk through walls.
Now I'm just imagining a horse with like the sentinel helmet on it. Clomping around. Making dragon noises.
I feel like for a robot that was built specifically to kill mutants, like it just wasn't that effective. Like
No,
they
it
sure
destroyed
wasn't.
so many.
Yeah. There's a whole
And they
sentinel
were
graveyard.
so big. Like, they were so big. Like, how much money did y'all invest in even one of these?
Oh, that's a great question.
So much. So
How
much.
much do you think one Sentinel cost?
Millions.
They had like a
Many,
fleet
many
of like
millions.
40.
Yeah. And they were just not effective. Well, I guess in one timeline they were pretty good.
Like
Yeah.
the only place
Yeah.
that they saved money on the Sentinels was in the paint color, because clearly pink and purple was like not.
It was on sale.
Yeah, that's just, yeah.
They were like, we can't get rid of it. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
take this. I can't decide if it was like, this
There's
is supposed to
also-
look non-threatening, but we made it look really grumpy. So let's paint it pink and purple so that people are like,
They made it
oh,
look
look,
like-
he's cute.
They made it look like a Scooby-Doo villain.
It did, yeah. An entirely Scooby-Doo villain.
Also, there's not a universe.
Well, there's like 350 of them, so
No, stop. Hold on. Not full
Or
stop.
more.
I'm not done. There's not a universe where I'm not selling ad space on my Sentinels.
Oh my God, absolutely. Sponsored
it's
Sentinels.
ridiculous.
Yeah. You know that there are companies out there, like anti-mutant companies, who would absolutely pay for ad space on a Sentinel.
Yes.
And
there
you
are
just
companies
magnet
that, like,
to them.
Yeah. And there's companies that like you didn't know were anti-mutant until you see it on a Sentinel, and then you're like, oh, can't shop at that
Nestle.
company anymore. Jesus.
Right.
That
right.
is-
Or if you're on the flip side, you're like throwing your support at them on TikTok. Like, we should only be shopping at this company because they're anti-mutant, right? You'd have both sides.
Yeah.
You'd have the people who were like decent humans and would be like, oh, I need to stop shopping there. And then you'd have the people who are like, well, that's the only place I shop now to get my
If
coffee.
I was a mutant fighting a sentinel, I would do the funniest thing, and I would only show up at those businesses so they were destroyed in my fight with the sentinel.
yeah, that's a good point and a great tactic.
Yeah, you would have to like...
I can just imagine Bishop coming up out of the sewers and being like, come and get me.
It would also be kind of a flex for like Wolverine to get Colossus to throw him directly at the advertisements.
Oh my God.
And just damage the Sentinel exactly at those spots. Yeah.
Snicked. Just right with your claw, snicked above it.
Oh my
Or
god! If
snicked
there was
into
like,
it.
yeah, but if there was like company names that you could change a letter and it becomes like a swear or something like that.
So good. That's so good.
It's just like the equivalent of drawing a mustache on a picture with your Wolverine claw.
Well, we got that solved.
I like it.
Fucking Bruce Davison. What's another clue?
Okay. Let's see. The gelding had raced as a 2-year-old in California before he began his eventing career.
American Pharaoh.
Nice.
No.
That was my shout out to Tim.
Tim McGraw.
This is not the greatest answer in the world. This is just a tribute.
That's something about a bull named Fu Manchu.
Yeah, and skydiving. Rocky Mountain climbing.
Florida.
State Seminole vesicles.
I really need to. Okay, you guys, a little inside baseball. We were talking about a topic before we started recording. You don't want to hear about it. But I need to stop hearing about horse testicles, please.
Horsticles.
Horsticles, thank you.
There is you know what? There is a vast difference between
How
the two
dare
jokes
you.
that you just, come on. I did a lot of work on that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I watched that work
as
go
good as I can
down.
get.
Yeah.
That's as good as I can do. I've peaked.
You're really
I held myself to a
pleasing, Jenna.
testicles.
I wanted to give it a fun spin.
Roman god of scrotums.
That's the one that you pray to, right?
Yeah.
Praying to a god that won't answer.
Yeah, testicles.
Testicles.
No, I'm really proud of my vast deference joke.
It's a very good joke.
This is the results of holding yourself to a higher standard.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And that's why you're going to forgive me for my worst joke, and you're going to feel good about your better joke.
Yes, yes.
Because this is how it
'cause
works.
I'm taking the high road.
You're taking the high road. I have yet to hold myself to a higher standard. I am still unevolved as a human.
Meanwhile, I'm riding on Alex's horse while she's saying all this in front of my sponsor. Okay, word association.
Okay.
Bruce Davison horse.
Yay!
All right. This is another 2-word name, not potato. The first word, possibly.
Maybe.
Nope.
Potentially.
Could be.
Nope.
That's 2 words.
Irregardless.
No. But that would be funny.
TBD?
TBD?
Nope.
I don't know. If possibly isn't maybe.
Possibly.
Potentially.
No.
Potential. Might?
Yes.
Okay.
And second word.
Might Thor.
Oh, you.
Might Thor.
No.
Oh, okay. That's another good horse game, though. It's Might Thor.
It's really good.
Okay, what's the second word?
Is
What's the-
the type of dance.
Waltz.
Nope.
Tango.
Yeah.
Might
Fuck.
tango. Might not tango.
But might tango.
Might tango.
But might tango.
You go not tonight? Might tango.
That sounds like a code word for nefarious activities.
It kind of does, yeah.
It takes two to might tango.
Wow.
Damn it, that's a good episode title too.
Might tango foxtrot.
That's an initialism
Yeah. Well,
for sure.
wait.
Yeah.
If you
It's
use
just-
might as the M.
It's just the notto phonetic.
Notto.
Yeah, because you missed one.
It's a P as in pterodactyl.
Mm-hmm. I'm telling you, I'm going to use that one day.
That's
I'm
so
just going to
good.
do it.
Tango Bravo Delta.
I have.
Oh, that's good.
That's really good.
Yeah.
No, I like it.
No, as a horse name, that's fucking
Oh,
fantastic.
yeah.
Well, damn it. I just need to name more horses.
Yeah.
Yeah. Actually, we've got some bangers today.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
No mash, just bangers. Suck it, nerds.
No Match Just Bangers is an excellent horse name also.
Yeah, it honestly is. Like, that's pretty funny.
We'll call him Mickey for short.
Oh, we could.
Danger
better than
Mouse is a really
Banksy.
good horse name.
Danger Mouse
too,
is a
though.
great horse name.
Yeah.
That it is.
You know who else has great horse names?
Boyd Martin.
Bruce Davidson.
Okay, both. of
Buck
those
Davidson.
people. Our patrons.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Would you like to hear some of the names? The
All
excellent
of them.
names? Okay. I mean, there's some real bangers and mashes here, starting with Moose Jaw McGraw, Big Thick Martingale, and Beta Ray Philly. Those are our three horses. They're in the barn. There are three. But you know what? You need more for a herd, and that's why we've got Hot Lava SpaghettiOs from Nate. Dale Donuts III from Anonymous Steve, who I've never doxed in my whole life, and I certainly won't do it again in the future. Dime Bag from Matt Ellman, who 3D printed a cool mask. And that's what I know about that.
Is that who printed that mask?
Which one are you talking about?
The Spider-Man mask?
Did Scott show you it?
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
I didn't realize that was the same person.
Hey,
Okay.
what the fuck?
I didn't know Scott showed Tim.
It's in the
I
it's
would have
in
showed
the,
you.
the
I'm
me,
sorry.
Austin, and Scott chat.
Yeah, see? They have a secret chat where they share Spider-Man masks.
All these secret
Secret
meetings.
meeting.
There's so many secret meetings.
God damn.
We have Marital Combat from Do Better Metastrophe. At least you got a whole metal name, even though it was mean. I'm sorry, Metastrophe. You're great. You're Metastrophe's dad. You're my dad, but you don't have a cat, Catastrophe, and that's your fault. Glue Factory from Bean. Pony Hawk from Olivia. The second L from Lost Imy, my mortal enemy. Johannes Equestrum from Rob N. And Ronnie from Scott. He got no metal name that time because I wanted to say Ronnie. And I did. And this brings our podcast to an end, similarly to the way that Pete refused to end the patriarchy when he took on that syndicate. Thank you for listening to Horse Girls. If you want to know when new episodes are posted or share your observations of this positively academic podcast, follow us on Facebook at Horse Girls Podcast, Twitter and Instagram at Horse Girls Cast, and Blue Sky. I'm sorry, one day I'll add it. And if you want to buy some radical shirts and things, visit duckduckjenna.com, America's most beloved search engine to search for one thing, and that's Horse Girls merch. Want to take our relationship to the next level? Of course you do. You can become part of our barn at horsegirls.club or patreon.com/horsegirls, where we have a veritable plethora of things to offer you, like content. But most importantly are the metal horses in the barn. You can also go to singlethoughtconnection.com, THOT, which is my favorite Earl. If you want to find us another podcast, you can. If you like TTRPGs, check out Dungeons and Draken Beams, Late Starters, Dragon Knight Adventure Friends, Knight like with an N, not with a K. Get it together, you guys. I feel like I've explained this so many times. Surprise! We also do Surprise Deck Book Club, and guess what? Double surprise, we also do Animorphs Anonymous. I did it out of order. Haha. If you were bewitched by Jenna, check out Jenna's Twitch at twitch.tv/JennaChill with one singular L. And if you put a second L in that fucking URL, I will, first of all, you won't get Jenna's content, and that should be punishment enough. But if it is not, then I will take the lost Imee who has no second L, and I will use his body to get to the top, because if I were him, then he'd be me. That's right. Get it together. Twitch.tv/Jenna Chill, one singular L. If you, like me, can't get enough of Tim's beautiful Appalachian voice, he's voice acted on such podcasts as The Way We Hunt Now. If you think our episode art is hella cute, that's because it is. And it was created by Casey D, who writes and illustrates a webcomic called Beside You, which you can read for free at besideyoucomic.com. May the nuts ever stick to your roof.
I'm cutting all of that out.
I'm bummed. I really wanted to shame Pickle Boy.
I'll leave that part in at the end.